And that's what it is. So the parenting can be kind of lacking there because the people that live there are so important and so in the entertainment industry, most of them. And so it's very a skewed way of seeing things when you live in Beverly Hills because everything's up for grabs. It's a big free for all. It's a blast. Everybody, throws their money around and God damn it, it was fun, but it's a place that'll destroy you. Maybe Denise needs to get a ranch in Montana. That'd probably be good for her.
That would probably be good for her. It is very fun. I enjoy my LA residence because I dip in and I dip out.
Right.
But if I were there, like starting my career in the entertainment business in my 20s, God only knows where I would be today.
On OnlyFans.
On OnlyFans and God knows what else. So it's like a different. I do have a soft spot for Denise too. Like I truly hope she's okay. And I told you, like there was a dinner at the Bel Air Hotel with like Bethany and Nene. And like, I know a lot of people who went and there's this picture that went viral, like Jenny Garth from 90210 was there. And Denise wasn't in this picture. I mean, who even knows Denise was there? I know people that were at that dinner that were like, oh, Denise Richards was here. And I was like, well, did she just not want to be in the picture? They're like, no, she was fall down. Like literally the way it was described to me was exactly how she was at this party. And this dinner was fairly recently, like probably in the past 2 months. And they're like, she hightailed out of there. I don't know. I got the impression she didn't get kicked out. She removed herself because she just was aware of the fact that she was so fucked up. But same thing. They said she walked in like fall down drunk. So this is not like a made up story. I know people at this dinner that just took place and they were like, and it was before this episode. They're not even into Beverly Hills Housewives. Like it's not foreshadowing. They didn't even know she would be this way at the dinner. They were just like, oh, by the way, these are the people that were at the dinner. And I was like, well, where was Denise in the picture? They're like, she was so obliterated when she walked in. She was there for like 20 minutes.
So then everybody knew in Beverly Hills for a while. So like I said, the producers probably heard word on the street and threw her in as a ringer.
These producers, man.
I'm telling you, they are Satan. They're Satan. And my daughter is in film and she's a photographer and she does film editing and her own little projects and she's great. But I told her, I said, producers are soulless. If you become one of those soulless producers that does that to people, I said, you will not be able to look yourself in the mirror. And I don't think I'll be able to look you in the eye because that's, not how you were raised. And Mom, I definitely not going to be that person. I care about the talent that's, on the project and you don't have to worry about that. And I needed that reassurance because I have dealt with those producers. I remember the day before filming, I called and I said, I don't think I want to do the show. And the producer was like, well, why? And I said, I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling about going on the show. And I'm not going to do it. And he said, look, we're not going to try to make you look bad or do anything like that. We just keep the camera rolling. If something happens, that's, on you because, but we're not making that happen. It's like, okay, I didn't fully believe him. I just should have backed out because that's what I was trying to do anyways. But they have a butler there filling your glass up every time you take a sip in these ginormous glasses. Aside from that, there was no car so I could get up from the table and just leave. I did witness when I was there, I used the restroom 2 hours into the dinner party, halfway through, and I came out and they're all in this like huddle, all the women. And the producer had talked to them, I'm sure, while I was, using the restroom. And they were just like sneering at me and formulating. And I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt. Like, okay, bring it on. So I just took my seat. I have been in more difficult situations than that dinner party. And it takes a hell of a lot more than a bevy of bitchy women to break me. So I just endured it.
Do you think Sutton Strack has been a fan since season 1 and she's trying to steal your thunder? Because when she whipped out
she can have it.
when she whipped out that joint, I'm like, is
Um,
is this woman trying to make this the new e-cigarette? I'm just
yeah,
wondering, because that's where
you
my
know,
mind goes.
the only way I can relate to her on that, and the reason I pulled out the vape when I was there, my nerves were so shot from listening to women yell at each other and complain the whole time and just be bitchy to one another. Cause I normally would, my friends aren't like that. That was uncharted territory for me. Those aren't women I would ever sit down with for a dinner, because I believe breaking bread is a very intimate experience with people. You only do that with people that you know, like. And so when all of that was going on, I had to pull out the vape and take a drag. I mean, I had quit smoking, a couple months before, and the alcohol wasn't going to do it. I needed some nicotine because my nerves were just shot at that dinner. And I didn't care if they caught it on camera. I obviously wasn't trying to hide it. And I really didn't give a shit what the women thought of me. So I was just trying to be in my own space and have a good time. I'm like, if I've got to be stuck here, I'm going to drink their booze. I'm going to kick back and I'm just going to just let them do what they do. And then they turn on me again because I became such a focal point. Although you can see how important I am to Kyle. I mean, she's brought me up for 13 years. She also, and this is why Camille and I was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. She vaped on social media. She was with Kyle and some of the women in Vegas, and there was a vape stand. And so they were all like mocking me. And I'm just thinking, really? Because they're always pointing at each other and saying, what is this, junior high? What is this, high school? Like everyone else is immature and they're the immature ones. It's amazing. And so I called her and I was just like, Camille, why would you do that? And she's like, Allison, it's just a job. And I'm like, it's your job. Then you're not my friend because you wouldn't do that to me. So that ended the friendship. She's like, it's just a job. I'm like, it's just a job to insult and mock your friend. Well, you earn that paycheck. It cost her that relationship with me, which was probably worth it to her. So it's fine. But my point being that it bothered Kyle so much. It's not that I was vaping. It's that I am the person who saw the holes in her relationship and I said it publicly. That's what it comes down to.
Right. And she knew there were holes at that time and just it hit home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And what I was gonna say, like when Camille says it's just a job, that's the thing. That is the job description, and that is like Sutton and Kyle. Now they were never best friends, fine, but they were friendly. Like now they're just each in the media. Like I'm done with this one. I'm done with like everybody is truly disposable. That's the job.
Yes. Yes. And it's if you can't be a bitchy 8th grade girl on that show, you're no good to them. Because that's their energy. That's what they bring. When Sutton whipped out the joint, again, she's kind of refreshing, but I get why she needed to take the edge off. Her nerves were shot. She couldn't do it anymore. She was mentally checking out. And I don't blame her. So I hope she enjoyed it.